What if I told you one of the most influential adventure games of all time started as a risky experiment on an aging home computer and ended up changing game design forever? Today, we're heading back to 1987 to explore one of the weirdest, funniest, and most groundbreaking games of the NES era, Maniac Mansion. Maniac Mansion was developed by Lucasfilm Games, back when adventure games were still mostly about typing commands and hoping the game understood what you meant. But the team wanted something a little different, something more intuitive. Instead of typing open door or pick up key, you would see the world and click on it. The game was originally released on the Commodore 64, and from the very beginning it pushed the limits of what adventure games could be. Now, here's where things get really interesting. At first, Maniac Mansion was programmed in assembly language, but it quickly became clear that this game was too big and too complex for that approach. So, for the first 6 to 9 months of development, the team did something bold. They stopped working on the game itself and focused on building a brand new engine. That engine was Script Creation Utility for Maniac Mansion, otherwise known as SCUMM. SCUMM was designed specifically for point-and-click adventure games, and it didn't just power Maniac Mansion. It went on to be the backbone of classics like The Secret of Monkey Island and The Day of the Tentacle. In other words, Maniac Mansion didn't just create a game, it created a whole legacy. After nearly 2 years of development, Maniac Mansion made its public debut at the 1987 Consumer Electronics Show. It launched later that year on the Commodore 64 and the Apple II, before being ported to DOS, the Atari ST, and Amiga by 1989. The Japanese Famicom version arrived with some major compromises: smaller rooms, redrawn characters, and no scrolling. But when Maniac Mansion finally hit the NES in 1990, the American release stayed much closer to the original version. In Maniac Mansion, you play as Dave Miller, a teenager on a mission to rescue his kidnapped girlfriend, Sandy Pants. But you're not going in alone. You get to choose 2 out of 6 friends, each with their own unique skills. And here's the genius part. While the game can be completed with any combination, some characters make puzzles much easier than others. That means multiple playthroughs, different solutions, and wildly different outcomes. The story centers around the bizarre Edison family, Dr. Fred, Nurse Edna, and their son, Weird Ed, who've all been corrupted by a sentient meteor that crashed near the mansion nearly 20 years ago. The house is crawling with secrets, 2 hostile tentacles roam the halls, and every room hides something strange, funny, or downright disturbing. Your job? Explore, experiment, solve puzzles, and survive. Maniac Mansion features 5 different endings, depending on which characters you choose, who survives, and what actions you take throughout the game. That kind of player choice was almost unheard of at the time, and it's one of the reasons Maniac Mansion is still talked about today. It's weird, it's funny, it's innovative, and it helped define what adventure games could be. If you grew up with Maniac Mansion, or if this is your first time hearing about it, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy deep dives into retro gaming history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press on that notification bell for more retro gaming goodness.